It's that time of year when we're about to enter a season of festivities. Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's and probably a few other things mixed in between. And celebrations like that often mean family get-togethers and what seem like endless spreads of delicious foods. Often some of the things are things that you only see at that time of the year for that particular occasion. Now, growing up, I remember myself going to my mother's parents for New Year's Day and being able to play with my cousins who were older and some were younger than me. And Grandma couldn't fit everybody all at one table in the dining room, so the children's table was in the kitchen, and all of us cousins got to sit there. Now, there were some different foods at the adults' table because, well, adults have some different tastes than kids do. And the children being in the kitchen were happy to be there because at the adults' table, you probably wouldn't understand what anybody was talking about anyway because they were all speaking Polish. So, other things that were different, there was probably wine at the table for the adults and soda for all of us kids. And Grandma's delicious chocolate cake at the end for everybody. Grandma knew how to take care of all of us. Now, while the grown-ups enjoyed their time together, the older cousins in the kitchen with the younger ones would help them out at the table. It all worked quite well. And as the years went by, there would come a time when the oldest cousin in the kitchen group of us would be invited to come and join the adults in the dining room. We might be sad that they were no longer with us, but we also looked forward to the time when we would get that same kind of invitation. We would be able to be at the grown-ups table. Because after all, it was just a little ways off, just in the other room. And as I think of those happy celebrations, it reminds me a lot of our spiritual family right here and now. Today is another one of those celebration times, and we have all the saints together at a meal, at our own Holy Eucharist. And all of us are gathered here are very similar to my group of cousins at my grandma's table. We're all here to celebrate and to sing God's praises and to spend some time together. And we're here to partake of the most wonderful part of the meal of all, Holy Communion. Like me and my cousins, sometimes someone is here to help us out, and sometimes we're the ones who are available and willing to help others, according to our own abilities and needs and inclinations. In that favorite hymn for All Saints' Day, which we'll sing in a few moments here, I sing a song of the saints of God. We're reminded about some of the people that we will be remembering today. One was a doctor, one was a queen, one was a shepherdess on the green. And then in another verse we're reminded one was a soldier and one was a priest. One was slain by a fierce wild beast. And those memorialize the people from our history, the ones that the church recognizes for the way that they lived their lives in some exemplary way. But the verse I like the best is the last one. They lived not only in ages past, there are hundreds of thousands still. The world is bright with the joyous saints who love to do Jesus' will. You can meet them in school, or in lanes, or at sea, in church, or in trains, or in shops, or at tea. For the saints of God are just folks like me, and I mean to be one too. Here we're reminded that the word saint is a name that we all share. Thinking back to those celebrations at my grandma's, everyone was family, everyone belonged. Most of them were somehow related to us, but every so often someone brought somebody else in who might be called aunt or uncle because they're special to all of us. Everyone got fed, from the youngest to the eldest. And it didn't matter if you were in a different room because everyone enjoyed the food that was on the table. And in this life, we're kind of like the children at the kitchen table, enjoying our meal and wondering what it's like in that other room where the adults are. No matter what our station in life is, we are all saints. That means that we're all members of God's family. The feast of rich foods and fine wines that Isaiah sometimes speaks of, that table is set for all of us. And we get to partake of it here in our earthly existence every time we come to God's table and receive Holy Communion. And the fascinating thing is this: all those who have gone before us and all those that we miss so much, well, they're here too. They're experiencing the feast in God's full and abiding presence. They're like the adults in the next room at my grandma's celebration. They're enjoying the fullness of the Eucharistic meal. And someday we'll be invited to join them. Just like me and my older cousins one day receiving the invitation to join the adults in the other room, we too will be invited to enjoy the fullness of the Eucharistic feast in heaven. After all, it's just in the other room.